on, and I think it's really valuable, and I think there's a lot of people that share your aim, and I think there's plenty of people that would quite like to talk to you about how you can take your project perhaps to another level and expand your Diablo TV, because I think it certainly could work.
Good. Well, we share that. We share that in so many different areas. Just talking about the community in itself, in the time that the two of us have been here, we've seen so much growth in the community. We've seen a lot of growth that you yourself has added to it. Let's talk a little bit, if you don't mind, in doing a little research. And in fact, I'm going to throw in a happy early birthday. You know, I noticed that we actually were born the same year. So, and we're the oldest and oldest female. So we have a couple of things in common. Yeah. And also I read about your involvement in healthcare.
Indeed.
And I've had over 25 years of healthcare.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we share too.
That's what we share also.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that when reading, I think in the CRAWLEY Observer with CRAWLEY and CRAWLEY on the 17th, they quoted that you were about to go back into your nursing.
My aim is to do that.
Yeah. And let me say, because I don't believe you ever left your nursing.
No, I don't think I did.
I don't believe you did. Yeah. All that I've read, I see that you've been quite proactive in bringing your nursing and your health care in. Indeed. And that's one of the things I applaud you on. So, I'd like to ask you, is there any one particular thing, community-based, especially with CRAWLEY Hospital, that you're proudest of, that you were able to initiate?
Well, I think the one thing that's happening in CRAWLEY, and we get kind of stuck on let's just have a new hospital, but if we look around us, we look at the development of our local GPs, they have just been stunning, but they needed help and support to do this. All of the new build that we can see in Broadfield, Southgate, Ifield are all fantastic new GP centres, bringing health back into the community, allowing people to be reconnected with healthcare, and of course the work that's going on with well-being, which might be something you might want to do some work on with our GPs that are now prescribing exercise, prescribing walks, prescribing not drugs, but getting people out there, improving their mental health, allowing them to have a sense that it's not going to be a horrible end, they're not going to end up having a stroke, but that there can be a better outcome. So we're even now beginning to understand that there was a huge gap between the people in my side of the town, where I live in Broadfield, Viewbush, were dying 7 years before people on the other side of the town, and we're beginning to make an impact on that because of the community health programs that are going on. So if you're going to say that if there's anything to be proud of, because that's where my interest lies, and taking a leadership role in bringing health to people. And of course we're just about to see the opening of a fantastic new walk-in centre in the town centre that's being developed by our local GPs to give people access from 8 in the morning to 8 at night.
Oh, that's fantastic.
To allow them to, any health problem, if you've missed your GP appointment and you can't get into the GP, there'll always be somewhere for you to go and sort your health out. And that's run by our local GPs. So there's plenty going on that we need to be very proud of. It's making a difference.
Well, that is music to my ear to hear. Before we leave that with healthcare, let me ask you about, one of the specialties for me, having taken care of both my mom and dad, and I know that I read that both yours.
Yeah, both have cancer and managed it.
And that is commendable.
Yeah.
How about any programs for senior citizens? Is that?
Well, it is. I mean, what we know now is a huge challenge is dementia.
Yes.
And it's because we're living longer. Absolutely. Yes. All of that range of diseases. We know that people live longer, and your chances, of course, if you're living longer, your chances of getting dementia. So being able to use the dementia strategy to make sure people have the sort of care and help that they need has, sometimes been a struggle. Hasn't been taken as seriously as it should be. Yes. But I think that's changing.
Yes.
there's other things, and particularly, of course, cancers occur in older people.
Yes.
So having services much closer to home, so seeing that work develop in Crawley to allow chemotherapy for more people though they don't have to go out of town.
Yes.
And of course
It's accessible here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And affordable.
That's the right. So you don't have that horrible journey. I mean, we've got some of the best cancer centres in the world. They're in close location, but if you can get your day-to-day treatment locally, then that's fantastic. And of course, the what's in the primary care trust plans is to have radiotherapy locally too, which is something I've been fighting for. So they're now just developing plans so that people don't have to go to Guildford or to London to have radiotherapy, and that will be such a difference, because that journey is very tough when you're not well.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, you've got on behalf of myself and my husband and DIABLOTIN Television, you've got our commitment and our support to further this.
Good.
To further this, because we can see from a community, we've got so much that's about to open up. We've just touched on it. We've just touched on
absolutely.
it, and we need to take it to another level. It
would be great if you could do a health week, because I think there's lots of people that would be really keen to talk to you, particularly those in the Wellbeing Centre in K2. I'm sure they'd like to talk to you. And of course, there's people who I think probably be keen to, who've been recipients of that, that would want to say this is the difference it's made in my life, because it's not just about physical health. It's often mental health of, those.
And alternative medicines. You see, like what you say, and that's one of the things that the community involvement with. Just the everyday walking and just the everyday involvement, just knowing that it's something that I can do. You see, and it doesn't take any money. It doesn't take anything extra. You can do it. And like you say, both physically, mentally, spiritually as well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very important.
All right. Well, before we wrap this up, because we know you're busy and we just wanted you to expound and talk a little bit, I'm going to throw in something I was thinking about. Most everyone I know that's been in a leadership role, and when they leave and do something, a book is usually in the making. So let me ask you, is that one of your plans?
No, absolutely not. I've not thought about it. I think at one point I was quite interested to do something on the politics of change in healthcare, because I think those in health have a particular view. They know what they want to do to make healthcare better, and often that means creating change in the local communities. Local communities get very upset and angry about that, and they respond in a certain way, and that way is don't change anything because I'm too afraid that what you'll give me won't be as good as what I've got now. And it's a perfectly understandable response. And I think my experience in Crawley has been that sometimes just saying no to everything is not the right way forward, because healthcare changes and the way in which professional healthcare givers need to be able to change and modernise. So it's how you take communities with you. So if there was ever a book, that's the one that has particular interest to me. Because I've got the scars on my back because of it.
That's okay. The scars on your back and tattoos on your foot. You knew I was going to throw that one in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, look, we thank you on behalf of DIABLOTIN Television Limited, myself, Tempiie Williams, and my husband, Albert Williams. We thank you, Laura Moffatt. You will always be the voice of Crawley to us, for the community, and I know I speak in behalf of the community. Take well.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Thank you. It's great to talk to you, Tempiie.